So the story I chose is one with enough parts of it that I suspect most of us don't encounter in our daily lives that I thought you might find of interest. It's Wanda's story, lesbian and heterosexual parenting mixed. 38-year-old Wanda said, "This has been an adventure in living my values." Her story began 10 years before her interview with me when Wanda and her partner Jasmine joined their lives in a commitment ceremony that was deeply meaningful, yet not recognized by law. 5 years later, Jasmine became pregnant by a sperm donor and had a daughter, Zoe. Wanda adopted Zoe when the baby was 6 weeks old to legally become Zoe's mother. They were a family. Things got thorny 18 months later when Jasmine left Wanda and married a man. Suddenly, Jasmine and Wanda had completely different expectations of how they would parent. Jasmine and her new husband wanted Wanda to give up her parental rights so that Zoe could be part of a normal biological family. Their request wrung Wanda's heart. She wanted to keep on being a mother and have her daughter with her half-time. The three adults sought competent supports to find a resolution. She said, "We started by seeing a counselor who turned out to know nothing about same-sex adoption and looked at me as if I was crazy. We got out of there pretty quickly. They then tried mediation, but it became a difficult negotiation and then a full legal process, including psychological evaluations." She said, "I really wanted 50-50, and Jasmine was okay with that as long as it was best for Zoe. We tried to arrive at a shared understanding of what best for Zoe meant. That's tricky when the science doesn't agree on its meaning and the counseling doesn't agree and there is some manipulation going on. The 50-50 started to unravel and I realized I needed a lawyer." Wanda's lawyer told her that the courts, in trying to reduce conflict, don't readily support 50-50 unless both parents want it. Rather than keep fighting for equal time, Wanda agreed to a 1/3, 2/3 split of time. Zoe was almost 5 before the court processes finished. Wanda wondered all along if this fight was worthwhile, if she should walk away and become some sort of aunt. She used counseling to sort out her feelings and to confirm that she was bonded with Zoe and absolutely wanted to be in her life as her parent. Counseling also allowed Wanda to find her feelings of shame that she and Jasmine hadn't made the marriage work, with an added pressure because they had been a lesbian couple. She had shame, too, that she wasn't the biological mother. She said, "I kept getting the message, open your heart and let go so that your daughter can have a normal family." It was as if Jasmine and her husband thought that if they told this story enough, this other person, who was kind of a mistake, would disappear. I needed to assert my role as a mom to Zoe. Fortunately, Wanda did receive lots of support. Her circle of mainly heterosexual intact families reminded her of what she knew intellectually, that there are many ways to be a family. She said it helped that people cared, that they treated me the same as everyone else. They supported and loved me, assuring me that I was a great mom, and helped us buy a home. They would tell Zoe, "We were at Mom and Mama's wedding." Friends helped in practical ways, bringing Wanda a birthday gift from Zoe when she was too young to buy it herself. They did things that the other parent would do in an intact family, and it made a big difference to Wanda. Zoe's school recognized her family's unique structure by having a binder ready for each mother at the school orientation. She also had to figure out what it meant to be Zoe's second mother. She said, "Not being the alpha or real mother was hard. Normally, I went with Zoe to her toddler class, but one week I couldn't go, so Jasmine took her. Another mother asked her, 'Are you her real mother? You look like her. Is Wanda the nanny?' And Jasmine said yes and let it go." Biology had more power than adoption, no matter how loving. Worried that Zoe might feel shame about having two mothers, Wanda told Zoe about her birth in a way that had no shame attached. She said, "Every night for a period of time when she was 2 and 3, I told her the kid version of her conception and birth, who came to her birthday parties, what friends brought. It was her bedtime story and she asked for it often." In 5th grade, when each child gave a presentation about their family background, Zoe told her story. "When I was born, I had 2 moms, and when I was 18 months old, they divorced." I could hear that she understood the story, and it was matter of fact. Because she had Zoe less than 50% of the time, Wanda paid child support. She resented having to pay since she wanted equal time. She found it hard to talk about money, even things like saving for college, with her co-parents because she didn't trust them. She felt they had played the rules to hurt her financially. Wanda's personal growth. Wanda's unusual status in the divorce complicated her grieving. She said, "There was so much sadness at first. I would go into Zoe's little room when she wasn't there and feel so lonely." Wanda learned through counseling that it mattered that she was healthy and that taking care of herself was best for Zoe. She spent time with friends, letting them nurture her. She realized she had incredible resilience. She said, "With support and a night's sleep, I kept getting back up. At some point, I had to stop playing the victim, take my space and own my mistakes, my desires, and my powers." Majority time with kids trumped minority time, and she experienced new empathy with dads. As a part-time parent, she felt she could never catch up. She said, "When you only show up at the playground once a week, nobody knows who you are, even if they recognize your kid. I felt shame at not being the primary parent, especially when there were lots of stay-at-home moms." Even with its drawbacks, sharing parenting paid off. Wanda was able to rest, sleeping in every Saturday. She was able to travel for her work. On days when Wanda had Zoe, she could focus on her, building a strong bond in a one-on-one relationship. Zoe felt loved and secure in both of her families. Wanda's growth included social and legal awareness, as well as improved self-management skills. She took responsibility for her mistakes and worked through her feelings of shame. Wanda's self-awareness helped her make the challenging and painful decisions needed to craft her role of second mother. Her courage and willingness to seek support helped her create the best world for Zoe and herself.